Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop right in. Hey Nikki, I know you believe in God and you go to church, and my story is this. When I was really young, I loved going to church and I was in a group of faith, but when I was 14, I started to skip meetings and then I stopped going to church every Sunday. I think that's the moment when I lost my faith. Right now I am 17 and a lot of bad things have happened in this moment. So I've started to look for something and I didn't know what, but I felt incomplete. Then my puppy had a horrible accident and he almost got killed by the car. And in that moment of desperation, I found myself praying for him not to die. Fortunately, he's well now, but I don't know what to do with my faith because no one in my family trusts the Lord, but I think I do. It's very hard. So, how can I feel better and try to start searching for my faith? Thanks again. Okay. So, for those of you, I'm sure you know if you've been on my channel for a while that I'm a Christian. I'm assuming why she's asking me. Here's the thing. Faith is a very personal thing. My whole family is Christian, but it's a decision that I made for myself. And actually my faith has really morphed from when I was younger till now. They're decisions that you have to make for yourself apart from your family, because ultimately you're not going to be glued to your family's hip your whole life. Like, you're eventually going to leave your family and start your own family. And just because you have a different faith than them doesn't mean, or if you did have a different faith, it doesn't mean that you're alienating your family and you're not going to be friends with your family. You know, in terms of trying to figure out where you stand and what you believe, I think you already know. If going to church groups was something you enjoyed, and, you know, youth groups, then get back into them and see kind of how everything is going and where you stand with things. And, you know, going to a church and being in a church group is really amazing because, and I know a lot of people have been really wounded at church. Unfortunately, a church is not some magical, mystical place. It's like, church is a building full of people and people mess up. Like, so a lot of people will be like, oh, I was so hurt in church. And I'm like, dude, I feel really bad for you. But like, of course you were hurt in church, because the church is full of people and people hurt people. Like, it doesn't make people perfect. But the amazing thing about being part of a church and finding somewhere that you feel like you can really call like your church home is having a place that you can get support from. Like, I'm pretty involved in my church. I'm not like, you know, there every day of the week, or like, there's definitely people way more involved in church than I am, but I'm pretty involved, and I know if I ever needed anything, I could go to, there's a whole list of people at my church I could go to. I could go to the church office and they would help. And that's an amazing thing to know, that you have a community of people that you don't even really have to be super duper close to, but you know, like, they're there for me if I need them. And honestly, it goes both ways, because I would be there for any of these people if they needed me as well. But that's an amazing feeling, and having people to support you through life's challenges. You know, as far as your puppy, first off, I'm glad your puppy's okay. But that's one thing that people talk about a lot with faith, is when things happen, they question how there can be a God, or when things good happen, it's just, all I can say is, like, we live in a world full of people, and people mess up, and there's sin, and bad things happen, and that's kind of just life. I don't really know, I don't want to get too in depth about that because I'm not looking to have a debate on my channel. But yeah, that's kind of just, that's life. And, you know, I would have hated for you to think like, well, God doesn't exist if your puppy died. You know, people's puppies die. My puppy has died. Well, my puppy died a few years ago, and that's kind of a horrible reality of life, is death. Because everything dies at some point, and it's horrible. But yeah, so I would recommend to you to just, if you're curious, get back involved and kind of feel your way around and see what you think. And like I said, in terms of your family, you'll come to your own decision and see where you stand. And if you're close with your family, I'm sure they'll love you either way, you know. And yeah, my family, I know that if I left my faith, they'd be disappointed, but I know they'd still love me. And if you're close with your family, like, that's what family is. They love you, or they're supposed to love you regardless. I know it's not how life always operates, but yeah. So I don't know if this video really had any answer or point to it. I just wanted to encourage you, for those of you that are out there and you're looking and you're trying to find something, to like, not be scared to go explore and find things on your own. Just because you're young, like, it doesn't matter. Find what you think and what you believe. Like, you're young, but you're growing up, so you might as well start looking for what you think, you know? So, yeah. I don't know if that answered any sense. Okay, so I will see you guys next time. great rest of the day, and yeah, bye guys. Like I said, it's easier to suggest than do, but I'm gonna give you my suggestions. My first suggestion is you were on the right path, I can tell in the email, in terms of finding something that can give you purpose, that's gonna take discipline, because when you feel like crap, it's very, very, very hard to move forward and find purpose and feel good, because you